Time certainly does fly, Ashe. Why, it's already been a year and a half since you became a knight. Still, it must be difficult working in such unfamiliar lands. Are you doing well?
Yeah, I'm great. Everyone in the capital has been really nice, honestly. If anything, I guess I'm still just unsure if I have what it takes to be a knight.
Do not give in to doubt. Remember, most knights currently in the service of House Blathed only entered the castle after I became king. You have fought with me for much longer, and so in that sense, you have the advantage.
Sure, but I'm not nobility. I don't even have a crest. So, I want to repay you for appointing me, even if it costs me my life.
I see. Tell me, Ashe, what exactly does knighthood mean to you?
Huh? I'd say knights are loyal to the king, and willing to give their lives to protect the crown and their people. That's right. Right?
That is indeed what many claim a knight should be, but reality is rarely so rosy. Put bluntly, it is the job of a knight to dispense death. The code of chivalry emphasizes loyalty, yes, but this is only to ensure knights remain under the complete control of their lords.
Well, I mean, I guess that's true.
I have no quarrel with your dedicating yourself to such a code, but there is no need to stake your life upon it.
But...
My closest friend was a knight who served the royal family. He was near to my own age, and I admired him greatly. But one day, I watched him die. He stood his ground and fought bravely, but his life was snuffed out in the blink of an eye all the same.
You're talking about Felix's brother, right? I remember Lord Rodrigue mentioning him.
His dying screams echo in my mind to this day. My point, Ashe, is that there may come a time when you must decide between your loyalty and your life. And though I know this to be a selfish request, when that day comes, I want you to choose life.
Even if it means turning my bow against you?
Especially then. If you find yourself unable to follow through, I beg you to leave the battlefield quietly and with all haste. I pray it never comes to that.
Right. I have something to say, though. I don't think that friend who protected you threw his life away because he was a knight. He just wanted to save his best friend.
Even if it meant destroying futures that might have come to pass had he but lived?
Look, I don't know if what he did was right. So if you're asking me not to throw my life away, I promise that I won't. But I don't think it's wrong to fight to the end for someone that you love.
Well put. Perhaps you're right. In any case, I must be off. I have drills I must attend to. After all, I must do everything in my power to be the sort of ruler worthy of such loyalty.
You've done more than enough, Your Majesty. We all respect you to the ends of Fodlan. Oh, it's so late. I didn't mean to take this much of a detour.
Just getting back?
Hey, Dedue. Hope I didn't worry you.
You didn't. You were in town, yes?
I went to pick up some supplies, but on the way back I saw these flowers blooming, and I just couldn't help but pick some.
Ah, yarrows.
They're used as an ingredient in healing salves, although you can also slap the leaves on your wounds and get mostly the same effect. Oh, and and I plan on soaking them in alcohol. It'll produce a liquid that can be used for a wonderful ointment. Though I suppose it would be faster to just use healing magic.
You seem well informed on the subject.
Lenato knew all about it, so I picked up a few things from him.
Lord Lenato had an interest in plants?
Oh sure, he kept tons of botanical encyclopedias and books like that in his room. He loved flowers. He even kept a small herb garden at Castle Gaspar. Hey, you like gardening too, right? I mean, you were always watering the flowers in the greenhouse back at Garreg Mach.
I suppose I do, though I know little of the medicinal properties.
Yeah, I guess knowing how to grow plants is different from knowing how to use them.
Even so, the greenhouse was a treasure to me.
You're right about that. I found flowers there I'd never even seen in Castle Gaspar's garden.
I would like very much to visit this garden of yours one day.
We should go. Of course, a lot has happened since I last saw it, but my younger siblings should still be looking after it.
I look forward to it. Though, how did Lord Lenato come to know so much about medicinal herbs?
He used to serve Grand Duke Rufus, so maybe he studied them while he was in the capital.
Perhaps.
Sorry, I'm just sitting here chatting away when I should be off making myself useful.
Of course. Medicinal herbs. Ashe, you've come at the perfect time.
Why is that? Oh no, am I interrupting?
Not at all. In fact, I'd like you to try this tea.
Sure. Did you create this blend yourself?
I did. Your talk of medicinal herbs inspired me to study them. I created a number of different brews, thinking I might find one suitable for His Majesty. But first, I would like your opinion on the quality.
Taste testing, is it? I'd be happy to help. Oh, this tastes like...
Yes? How do you find it?
Dedue, what did you use in this?
The same flour you gathered before, mixed with some other herbs, then steamed. I read that doctors in the capital frequently concoct a similar blend. Does it not suit your tastes?
No, I love it. It actually reminds me of something. Of course! This is what Lenato used to give me when he first took me in.
Lord Lenato used to brew this tea?
He sure did. Wow, this really takes me back. I wasn't born into a noble family, so when I started living with Lenato, I had no idea how to act. I was nervous as anything at first, but I'd always calm right down the moment I drank his tea.
I did read that this tea is useful for calming nerves. Perhaps he was trying to make you feel at home.
That sounds like him. I was pretty young at the time, so I never knew what kind of tea it was. But this definitely has the same flavor. Strange to think I've been in the capital for 2 years now and never came upon it again until today. I wonder if Lenato ever served this tea to Grand Duke Rufus.
He never said?
No, I guess the two of them had a falling out a long time ago. He never really talked about his time in the capital. But I think he started studying herbs as a way to help the Grand Duke. just like you're studying them to aid His Majesty.
It's possible.
Anyway, thank you, Dedue. That really hit the spot. Hey, would you teach me how to brew it sometime? I'd love to let everyone else try it.
Yes, of course.
Felix, what are you doing here?
I had business in the capital. Speaking of, I hear you're that boar's knight now.
Or... Oh, you mean His Majesty.
Yeah, him. You must have it rough with a tiresome man like that leading you.
I think you're exaggerating, Felix. I wouldn't call him that at all. In fact, he even does our jobs for us sometimes.
See, that's exactly why he's such a problem. You should steal your job back from him once in a while. Use force if you have to.
Felix, are you?
Anyway, the castle has certainly changed in the past, 2 years since he took over? For one thing, there are many more commoners among the knights.
You have a good eye to notice that. But yes, His Majesty says there are pros and cons to it. For example, knights from noble families tend to be more polite and respectful. There were a lot of scuffles and misunderstandings in the beginning, but things seem to be calming down now.
And which are you, noble or commoner? You became a knight on Lord Lenato's recommendation, right?
Yeah, my situation is kind of strange. I'm almost stuck right in the middle. Still, I feel like there are things only I can do precisely because I don't fit into either box. But whenever I'm in real trouble, His Majesty and Dedue always come to my aid. So that's good.
Dedue as well, huh?
Yep, even the knights accept him as one of us now. No one's a better cook or more skilled with their hands. And he's a proper demon on the battlefield to boot. I hope to be more like him someday.
Please, no. One of him is more than enough. Especially that blind loyalty. Imitate that and you'll only end up throwing away your life on the battlefield.
Oh, are you worried about us? That's sweet, Felix. I always had the impression you cared for your friends, and now I know I'm right.
Excuse me?
I mean, sure, the things you say are pretty harsh, but you can't bring yourself to actually abandon someone. You always show so much concern for me, and for Dedue, and even for His Majesty.
Yeah, well, it'd be more work for me if anything happened to you, that's all. I'm busy enough as it is. Can't afford to take on more issues.
Well then, I'll do my best not to add to your problems.
I doubt you'll need to try that hard. You do a decent enough job of supporting folks already. So, keep up the good work and maybe I'll lend you a hand someday. You know, if you need it.
Thanks, Felix. I'll be counting on you.
You're really eyeballing that giant stack of documents there, Ashe. Let me see what you've got. Records of military drills, archives of city taxes. You know, if you're searching for a particular needle in this load of hay, I can help you out.
Oh, I'm not looking for anything specific. I just thought they'd be good to study.
You're going to study all this?
Yeah. With the academy closed, I haven't had a chance to focus on learning lately. So, I thought I could give my brain a nice workout by reading old records and archives.
Hey, good for you taking the initiative. If it weren't for all this fighting, you and me would be living the schoolboy's dream right about now.
Right? We could be training together, taking classes on history and magic.
And when the ethereal moon comes, we'd go dancing with all the girls at the ball.
That's not quite what I had in mind.
So, are those records actually helping you?
Yeah, the ones on old military drills are especially interesting. It's fun just looking at them.
Just looking, huh? You might want to read a little deeper there. I mean, take this one for example. It talks about how the 3 northern houses held a joint exercise in 1166. And apparently they did so in the middle of a raging blizzard. It was so bad that some of their soldiers died, but they went ahead and did it anyway. Any idea why?
Drills in the snow in 1166. Oh, were they trying to prepare for a confrontation with Shrang?
Nailed it. They were training for the northern conquest they carried out a few years later. In other words, they'd already decided to try and take the north by 1166. So, if you look at the other drills during that time, you might be able to piece together what the late king was thinking.
Interesting. You know, another document did mention an exercise conducted in Guinevere.
Because they'd already predicted that Shrang forces would cross the mountains, which meant battling in harsh desert terrain.
And that's why they were forbidden from using horses during that drill. It's amazing how you really start to see the bigger picture when you dig into details like that.
And that's why keeping records is so important. Anyway, I've probably bothered you long enough.
No, wait, teach me more. I mean, if you have time.
If you really want to learn, you're better off asking an actual professor type. I'm just, Sylvain.
No, you're a great teacher, and I can always ask them things when we're in the capital, but they won't be around when we're on the march. I just want to learn more so I don't embarrass the other knights. Please?
No, not the puppy dog eyes. Oh, fine, I'll help. But don't expect too much.
So, by stationing themselves in the bog, they were able to slow the advance of the enemy horses.
Exactly. But Lug's army was prepared in other ways too. They dug pitfalls, set up anti-cavalry palisades, and more. Laying all that groundwork is what led them to victory.
It's strange how the stories of King Lug don't go into much detail about him. But once you dig a bit, you realize he was a really talented tactician. I feel like I see him in a whole new light now. Say, do you think we could use this strategy in an upcoming battle? I know we can't do the exact same thing, but in that geography book you recommended to me before...
Where have you been hiding this talent? You're absorbing everything I teach you like a sponge. I can see why Lord Lenato had such faith in you.
Oh, it's not that. You're just a really good teacher.
Even taking that to be true, you're clearly an exceptional student. I'm actually sort of jealous that Dimitri gets a great knight like you by his side. I'd love to find some reason to steal you away to my territory after the war.
Don't joke like that, Sylvain. I serve His Majesty alone.
Ooh, shut down. But yeah, I get it. Still, are you really gonna devote your entire life to being a royal knight? To live and die in Ferdiad?
That was my initial idea, but I had a talk with His Majesty recently that made me reconsider. He asked if I wanted to succeed Lenato and take over Castle Gaspar after the war.
Castle Gaspar, huh? That makes sense. Adopted or not, you are Lord Lenato's heir.
I doubt the townspeople will be very accepting of me after I allowed him to die. But I'm still the only one capable of taking on the job. Or at least that's how I like to think of it.
Sounds like a huge responsibility, all right. Definitely can't ask you to come to House Gautier in that case.
That land meant everything to Lenato, and I would do anything to protect it. I want to help other people the same way he helped me. And I think I'm finally strong enough to do that now.
I should have expected as much. But hey, if that's what you want to do, I've got your back. A little education can be handy for a knight, but castle lords need to learn everything they can get their hands on. So let me know if you ever need old Teach to fill your little head full of info, and I'll come running. Sheesh, listen to me. I think your serious nature is contagious.
You joke, but I think you've always been a serious person deep down. You're an intelligent man who's always got his mind on one thing or another. I mean, aside from the way you acted back at the academy.
Oh, the unkindest cut. Completely accurate, but still.
I'm excited to learn everything I can from you, Sylvain. I really am. You saw one too. Glad it wasn't just me.
There you are, Ashe. I've been worried sick about you. You were white as a sheet during our training earlier, and I was concerned you had taken ill.
No, I'm sure that was all just in your head.
That's not your usual carefree smile.
I guess I can't hide anything from you, huh? Truth is, I turned my ankle during practice. Thankfully, it's all right, but... well, it reminded me of the time I saw a ghost when I was a little kid.
Wait, a proper ghost? Oh, what did it look like? Did it say anything? What was it wearing? Oh dear, I'm sorry. I let myself get carried away there. I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
No, it's all right. I can't let myself live in fear of it forever. So on that day, my brother took sick with a fever, and I went into the mountains to look for medicinal herbs. As I was walking along some unstable ground, I saw a large figure in the fog.
And you're sure there wasn't anyone else on the mountain with you that day?
Yeah, I was definitely alone up there. Plus, when I tried saying hello, the figure didn't answer. I knew then and there it was a ghost, and in my hurry to escape, my foot slipped, and I turned my ankle.
Well, it's important to be careful about where you step.
Wait, that's your takeaway? The story doesn't scare you at all?
Not really. If I'm honest, I heard a similar tale some time back. A long time ago, a man on a pilgrimage saw a strange, shadowy figure deep in the Ogma Mountains. He panicked and began to scream, thinking it a ghost or some other manner of evil omen. But in truth, it was none of those things.
Wait, so if it wasn't a ghost, what was it?
It was his own shadow reflected in the mist.
What? Then maybe what I saw was...
I can't say for certain, but it may have simply been a trick of the light.
Oh gosh, I feel silly for being afraid of my own shadow for so many years.
It's quite understandable for you to mistake it for a ghost, especially since you hadn't heard the story about the shadowy figure.
Thanks, Mercedes. That makes me feel a lot better. Hey, but if you have time, you should listen to this guy's story.
Sorry, whose story?
This guy right here. Apparently he saw a real ghost a long time ago.
Ashe? You are the only other person here.
What? Come on. He's standing right next... Huh?
You were alone when I found you.
Wait, so you never saw him? What does that mean? Was he,
What lovely weather. Morning walks really are the best. Is that Ashe? I thought it was you. What are you doing out and about so early?
Morning, Annette. I've been teaching some of the townspeople how to read and write, as well as some basic math skills. We were all so into it we didn't notice the time slipping away, and now... it's suddenly morning.
Wow, that's so good of you, Ashe. What made you decide to do that?
When I went into town earlier, I found a merchant selling medicine at outrageous prices. But people were all snapping it up without even questioning it. Well, I couldn't just stand by and watch it happen. So I called a couple folks over to show them the math. A few more people came over, and then a few more. And before I knew it, I found myself becoming their teacher.
That is so you. But seriously, I think it's amazing. If you ever decide to break out the chalk again, I'd love to help. You can handle reading and math and stuff, and I'll teach him magic and history.
Really? That would be great. I enjoy studying a lot, but I don't think I'm very good at actually instructing people.
Well, they are two completely different things. Speaking of which, didn't Lord Lenato teach you your letters and numbers?
Yes, although my father showed me some basic arithmetic as well. Lenato always used to say that study is the path to one's own morality.
What does that mean?
Well, there's no universal rules for what's right and what's wrong, you know? So you have to find your own morality, something you can believe in and stick to, no matter what. He also said a person needs knowledge and education to make that happen.
I suppose knowledge does grant the power to make sound judgments. I mean, I saw everything differently once I started attending the School of Sorcery and the Officers' Academy.
Most of the people here lack the means to attend such institutions, but they still contend with danger and lies on a daily basis. I want to give them the tools to see their way clear of that. So, I guess that's why I'm teaching them. I want to meet them as an equal, not as a Knight of Farkas, but as someone who knows exactly what they're going through.
That's incredible, Ashe. I think I could learn a thing or two from you, too. Hey, Ashe, listen to this.
What's got you so excited, Annette?
Remember Odette, the flower peddler we taught how to read and write? Well, apparently, the School of Sorcery thought she had talent, and they accepted her as a student.
Wow, that's impressive. The School of Sorcery isn't easy to get into.
Right? I'm so glad we took the time to teach everyone.
It's strange to think that someone I helped is going to study under those teachers. Strange, but also great.
Speaking of the teachers, there's something I need to tell you. I had another reason for wanting to help you instruct the villagers.
Oh? What's that?
When I was younger, I wanted to be a teacher at the School of Sorcery. It didn't even have to be that school necessarily. I just wanted to make a living as an instructor somewhere. And when I started teaching some of the townspeople here with you, it was so much fun.
You did seem to be enjoying yourself.
I know, right? My favorite part was when someone would have that aha moment and their face would just light up. It really made all the time I'd spent studying feel worth it.
You're a great teacher, Annette. I think it's your calling, honestly. I've never seen anyone so patient with people when they're struggling to understand. If you ask me, you should become a full-fledged professor. I'd love to study under an instructor like you.
Oh gosh, you're making me blush. But if you really think that, then I'm gonna go for it. But that means I need to hit the books. Oh, and probably chat with some of the teachers at the School of Sorcery.
If there's anything I can do to help, just let me know.
No way, mister. You have your own dream to pursue. I mean, you want to become a world-renowned knight, right?
Well, sure. But you've helped me so much, I feel like I need to return the favor. Besides, you're a citizen of Fargus, and it's a knight's job to help the people.
I love how focused you are on that dream. It's almost silly, because you're already the greatest knight I know. Okay, I'm off to borrow some books from the capital, but maybe I'll ask for your help after that. Oh, and if we ever get the chance, I'd love to visit Garrick Mock's library. If you wouldn't mind going with me, that is.
You can count on me.
Thanks. Just you watch, Ashe. I'll be a real professor before you know it.
What's wrong, Ingrid? You look troubled.
Oh no, it is nothing. Don't worry about it.
It has to be something if you're just standing there staring off into space. You can always talk to me, you know. It might not be much help, but...
It's this land. It is so fertile. I cannot help but be amazed.
It is an unusually bountiful region for Fargus, and a beautiful one at that. It doesn't have nearly as much snow as the north, and multiple rivers flow through it. I could scarce take my eyes off of that wheat field we passed earlier.
My home does not have anything as lovely as that. It's nothing but a barren, rocky wasteland, and the soil we do have is so poor even the weeds disdain it. We have tilled the ground, removed rocks, and sowed seeds in hopes that our descendants might one day benefit, but... well, who knows how long it would take for us to have large, fruitful fields like the ones here.
Our blood, sweat, and tears will drench the land, serving as nourishment for those who come long after. You may not accomplish it in your lifetime, but the effort will definitely pay off down the road. Or, that's what I think, at least.
Those are the words of King Lug, yes? From Lug and the Maiden of Wind. That is one of my favorites.
Yeah, hearing you talk about your homeland actually reminded me of another part. At one point, it uses the phrase, barren as the land of Dagda. I'm sure it's just some term the poets created long after Lug, but it got me curious. So I went and tracked down a travel journal about Dagda.
I haven't read many travel journals. What did it say?
It spoke of a crop that grew easily, even in their infertile soil. Apparently it's really filling and tastes amazing when boiled or baked.
It sounds too good to be true. Like a crop out of a fairy tale.
If only I knew what it was called. Shamir might be able to tell you more about it.
My homeland would greatly benefit from cultivating a plant like that.
I can't say for certain if it'll actually grow there, but it's probably worth looking into. And if there's any way I can help, just say the word.
I am sure a royal knight has better things to do than worry about the problems of House Galatea.
This isn't about my station. I'm just a pal lending a hand. Besides, I grew up poor. I know what it's like to go hungry. No one should ever have to experience that.
Thank you, Ashe. In that case, our first task is to look deeper into this miracle crop of yours. I wish we could wait until this war is over, but that would take too long. I want to learn all I can about it as soon as possible. Oh, this is so exciting.
Agreed. Now we just have to survive long enough to uncover its secrets.
Mess hall food is just the best!
You're really piling up the plates there, Raphael. You must have been extra hungry.
Yeah, I was just out exercising. Food always tastes best after a long workout.
You should tell the chefs how much you enjoyed it. I'm sure they'd be pleased.
Will do. You know, I opened an inn myself, and I've been doing the cooking there. Except, I've never gotten a compliment from a customer. Not even once.
So they didn't like it? I wonder why.
I guess it just didn't taste very good. Honestly, I don't know a whole lot about cooking, so I had a pretty rough time in the kitchen.
In that case, why don't we work on it together? You may not have as many chances to cook here, but I bet we can still find opportunities to hone your skills. Believe me, one of the best feelings in the world is having someone tell you they enjoyed a meal you created.
Hold on. You're gonna train me? You're the best, Ashe!
We'll get started right away. First, let's see you make something so I can get a feel for your skill level.
Well, how's it taste?
Well, it's not bad necessarily, but a huge pile of meat isn't really a meal. It's just meat.
Wait, you want something more than that? To each his own, I guess.
If you're going to focus on one ingredient, you have to work on your seasonings. This just tastes like a slab of bacon wrapped around a salt lick. Also, try using some vegetables, for a garnish, if nothing else. A little splash of color will make your dishes more appealing to the eye.
Huh. I never thought about how food looked.
That's something my father always used to say. If flavor is king, appearance is the royal court. He's actually the one who taught me that adding some color with vegetables will make things taste better, too.
Well, I guess I could jam a cucumber in there or something, if you think it'd help.
You can't just jam things in without thinking about it, Raphael. You have to prepare them first, then arrange them in a way that's pleasing to the eye. Every ingredient requires careful preparation in order to bring out its true flavor.
Okay. I think I get it.
For example, try seasoning the meat with some herbs, then boil your vegetables to remove the bitterness. After that, fan them out on the platter and...
Wait, hang on. I boil the bitterness out of the herbs, then platter the season? But which season? Fall? Spring? This is way harder than just throwing a hunk of beef on a plate.
Deep breaths, Raphael. You can do this. And since this whole training thing was my idea, I promise to stick it out to the very end.
Thanks, Ashe. With your help, I'm gonna make grub that'll have folks licking their plates.
What's up, Raphael?
There you are, Ashe. Here, sit down.
Okay.
Now, eat up.
Hey, this is the dish I was teaching you before. Raphael, did you make this yourself?
I sure did. So grab a shovel and dig in, because it's all yours.
I've got to say, it looks a lot more appetizing than before. Plus, it smells fantastic. All right, let's see what we've got. That was delicious. You used just the right amount of salt, which really brought out the flavor of the herbs.
Hey, you were right. It really does feel great to hear someone say that. I practiced seasoning and putting things on the plate and all that stuff, just like you said. Oh, and I had some of the soldiers do a bit of taste testing for me. It sure was rough at first, but I think I've definitely improved.
Oh, you certainly have. I had no idea you were working so hard on this.
That's because I was sneaky. I only wanted you to try it once I knew it was perfect. You worked so hard to teach me. I just had to pay you back somehow.
Raphael, You know my father used to run a restaurant, right? Well, this is the dish he was famous for.
You're not talking about Lord Lenato, are you?
No, my birth father. He took ill and died a long time ago. I told you what he said about flavor and appearance because he always used to say it to me. And this tastes just like what he used to make. I've tried for years to get the same flavor, but I couldn't do it. Honestly, I never thought I'd taste it again.
Come on. Eating through tears is no way to enjoy a meal. Good food should make you smile, not cry.
Sorry, Raphael. Guess I got lost in the past there for a second. But you're right, good food should make people smile. And everything tastes even better when you're sharing it with a room full of smiling people.
Wait, in that case, that's it! I'm making a new rule when I get back to the inn. You gotta smile when you eat good food.
That'll be good for the cook and the customers alike.
I knew you'd agree. Eating's supposed to be a celebration. So whenever you get a hankering for my cooking again, just say the word, Ashe.
Thanks, Raphael. And I'll be sure to eat it with a smile.
Here you go, Cully. As promised.
This feels a little light. You run into trouble moving the merchandise?
Sure did. With all the fighting lately, even the noble folk are getting real selective about who they do business with.
Well, nothing to be done for that. Our competitors certainly won't back down, so we can't afford to either. I'll think of something. Might involve crossing a dangerous bridge or three, but we'll work it out.
I'm pretty sure he went... Huh? Yuri?
Well, if it isn't Ashe. You seem out of breath. Am I really so charming?
Did you see someone suspicious come this way? I was chasing them down, but I lost them.
Ah, you must be referring to my lackey.
Your lackey? Wait, what is that you're holding?
Oh, just various proceeds from this and that. But I'll not say more, especially not in front of a royal knight like you.
Dirty money, is it?
Coin is coin. Whatever grime it may bear always washes clean in the end.
You know, I've been biting my tongue on this for a while, but I don't think it's right to earn money the way you do. You're so much smarter than me. You could do anything if you put your mind to it. There's no need to resort to cheating and hurting people to turn a profit.
Are you seriously trying to lecture the Lord of the Underworld? Oh, that's adorable. No one makes it through this life with clean hands. You should know that better than anyone. Sometimes you have to resort to just the most terrible things imaginable in order to feed your family. Am I right?
How do you know about my past? I've never told anyone.
No, I don't know. Perhaps I heard it from Count Rowe, or maybe even Lord Lenato. The sins we commit follow us until our dying day, my friend.
I know that. But even so,
Well, I'm a bit busy, so you work that out while I walk away. Bye then.
Yuri. No, I won't turn my back on you.
We lost him. Split up and search, boys. Don't let him get away.
They really are a persistent pack of scoundrels.
Someone shot me!
Yuri, over here! Oh, I think we're good. They won't chase us this far. Looks like I was just in time. Are you hurt?
So long as my face is fine, the rest of me doesn't matter. That's the real moneymaker, you know. And I appreciate the save, by the way.
You never change. Anyway, care to tell me why those thugs were after you?
Oh, just a little disagreement among businessmen. Happens all the time.
This is exactly why I said you had to find a different way to make money.
If you're going to lecture me, I'd prefer the arrow you gave my friend back there. Also, if you disagree with my methods, why save me in the first place? You could have left me to reap the consequences of my actions and had one less villain in the world.
I'm not lecturing you because I think you're a villain. I've no right to call you evil anyway. I just don't want to see you endanger yourself.
Sometimes the only way to get anything done is by putting yourself in harm's way. You should know. Or I suppose you wouldn't, what with your being an upstanding knight and all now.
Trust me, I know. I can't forget the past no matter how hard I try. But I still think what you're doing is wrong. Not only are you hurting other people, you're disregarding your own well-being.
I chose this life of my own accord, and I take pride in what I do. If I get hurt in the process, that's just part of the deal. And if I'm caught and the townspeople hurl stones and fruit as I march to my execution, I'll still die with a smile on my face because...
Okay, enough! This is the reason why I can't keep letting you do this! You want to protect the people important to you, right? Well, I want to make sure you don't end up dead and covered in rotting fruit! So if you still insist on being a reckless fool, I'm going to protect you anyway!
Even though it means siding with a filthy villain?
I'm not about to help you commit crimes. And if it looks like you're going to hurt someone, I'll do everything in my power to stop you. I just want to save my friend, okay?
I truly don't get you sometimes. Also, can't believe I'm going to fall for a cornball line like that.
Did you say something, Yuri?
Nothing. Forget it.
This lovely weather gives cause for my feet to wander of their own accord. Oh, I think I spy a familiar face. Good day, Ashe.
Morning, Flame. Out for a stroll?
Yes, and you are... fishing?
Yep. The army's a bit short on provisions, so I was thinking I could help add to the pile.
What a simply splendid idea. Can I take a look at your catch?
Oh, help yourself. I've been out here since before dawn, so there's quite a few fish already.
Goodness, you're right. You must be a talented angler indeed.
Oh, thanks, Flame. And yeah, not to brag or anything, but I'm pretty confident in my abilities with the old fishing pole. My brother used to take me fishing in a nearby river when I was little.
So he taught you all you know? I must admit I'm ever so jealous. I used to go fishing with my mother long ago, but I haven't done it in years at this point. And if I even think about getting close to a river now, my brother swoops down to give me an earful.
I'm sure he's just concerned. I'd be scared to let my younger siblings fish all by themselves, too. Do you want to give it a go now?
Really?
Why not? I mean, I'll be right here to make sure you don't fall in or anything.
Thank you very much, Ashe. I'm going to catch a big one. Oh, I hooked one!
Look at that line bend. It must be huge.
Curses, it escaped.
I caught a glimpse of its shadow when you tried to reel it in. That thing was a monster.
I'm surprised to learn this river is home to a fish as large as that.
Same. I've been coming here for a long time and never once seen one that big.
It is decided then. The next time I find that fish, I will capture it. Will you join me again when that time comes? My brother will be more amenable if you agree to be there watching over me.
Sedith amenable? Yeah, that'll be the day. But sure, I'd be glad to tag along.
Oh, this one is really pulling the line.
It must be our monster. Time to put what you practiced into action.
Yes, I am no longer the clumsy novice you slipped away from before, foul fish! It's not working! What do I do?
Don't give up. Play your line out a little and let the fish tire itself out.
Like this?
Yeah, that's good. Now wait. Now! Pull as hard as you can. Flame, look out!
We did it, Ashe! Oh, I can scarce believe I managed to capture the beast.
Yeah, that was close. I thought the fish was going to catch you there for a second.
Yes, I might have gotten a bit carried away there. Had you not grabbed my arm when you did, I might be swimming in the river myself.
I'm glad I could help. Seriously glad. And hey, I'm amazed you managed to hang on to the pole through all that.
I told myself I would not let go, no matter what.
Hold on there, Flame. You have to let go sometimes. None of this is worth putting yourself in danger over. I think I'm starting to see why Sedith doesn't let you go fishing. Still, you never would have caught that fish without that fierce determination of yours.
Mother taught me to always see tasks through to the very end. But even she never fished up anything so large as this. And though she is no longer around, I would like to think she would be very proud of me.
So that's why you're so interested in fishing. Well, I think this was great, and I'm sure your mother would be proud.
Goodness, you do know how to compliment a lady. Still, I promise to surrender my pole if I ever find myself in this kind of situation again.
Well then, why don't we haul this thing back?
Yes, and then we can feast on the spoils of our victory. I wonder what it tastes like. I can't wait to find out. But, I cannot even fathom how best to prepare such a fish. We could slice it up and fry it, or boil it with vegetables, or... there are so many choices.
This has been so much fun. Flame really reminds me of my sister. She was always so eager to practice in the kitchen when she was little too. Hold on. Flame in a kitchen. Hey, wait up! Let me help you! Oh, it's you. What are you doing?
Hey, Ashe. Not much, just perusing this tactics book. Have you read it before?
I sure have. It was popular in Leicester a few years back, if I remember right. I picked it up myself back at the monastery, but it was so dense it took me ages to finish.
It's a pretty tough one, I'll give you that. But there's some great stuff in here too, if you can get past the writing.
Hold on. You were born in a remote mountain village in Ordelia territory, right?
Yeah. What's your point?
I guess I'm just impressed you can handle such an obtuse book, given your upbringing. I mean, nobles and the children of rich families are taught to read by default, but most commoners never get the opportunity. Honestly, I've been wondering who taught you ever since our time at the academy. I hope I didn't offend you. I'm just curious.
It's fine. I learned from my mom. Adoptive mom, that is. Looking back on it now, it is kind of weird that someone as smart as her was off living in the middle of nowhere like that.
I'm sure she must have had a reason for being there.
Hard to say. She never liked talking about her past, so I don't know much beyond what I saw for myself.
At the very least, it's obvious she was well educated. That's clear just from looking at you. Not only can you read and write, but you know arithmetic and how to navigate with a map, too. In that sense, you're not so different from the average noble or knight raised in the lap of luxury.
You really think? Yeesh, you're gonna make a gal blush. I only have my mom to thank for raising me so well, though.
Yeah, she must have been an incredible woman. You know, I didn't know how to read myself until I met Lenato.
Huh. Now that you mention it, I never really saw the other mercs in my company with a book in their hands. Except for the captain, of course. Makes me wonder where my mom learned all that. But it's not like I can ask her now. She's gone.
Oh. Hey, what's wrong? Something on your mind?
Kinda, yeah. Remember before when we were talking about my mom? The more I think about it, the more I'm realizing she really was a strange person.
What do you mean?
Exactly that. Everything about her was kinda just a mystery. I've spent hours trying to puzzle out how she might have ended up in that remote village, but I keep coming up empty. I mean, someone that smart is rare even in the biggest cities, right? She practically knew everything. Even using magic was a breeze for her.
She may not have talked much about her past, but can you think of anything she mentioned that could give you a clue? Maybe something about the people she knew, or unique things she owned.
If she did, it's not coming to me. She's been gone so long now. So yeah, nothing really springs to mind. I don't even have any mementos to remember her by.
Then we'll just have to investigate. I'll help.
Investigate? As in my mom? Where'd that come from?
Well, both of my parents died in an epidemic when me and my siblings were still very young. I still have some hazy memories of them. Food they used to make, that kind of stuff. But that's really all I have left. And since they were commoners, there's almost no record of them. All my searches came up empty. I know how much that hurts, so it's not hard for me to sympathize with what you're going through.
Huh.
Really, it's just so I can get my own closure. We don't have to do it if you don't want to.
All right, I'm in. I'd love to learn some more about my mom. Okay then, how are we doing this thing?
The most sensible place to start would be talking to people who knew her.
I doubt anyone in the village really remembers her, though. We weren't exactly the most social family.
Still, someone must have known her. It's impossible to stay completely unnoticed in those small mountain towns. It's entirely feasible one of the villagers can tell us something. Or, what about the village chief?
If anyone's gonna remember her, it's him. But for all I know, he could be dead by now, too.
Then we'll just have to send a letter and find out. And if we never get a response because no one there can read, well, in that case, we can go ourselves.
Guess it's worth a shot. I feel kinda bad sending a messenger out that far, but we might as well see what happens.
Great. Now come on, let's get started on that letter. It's been a while since we sent that letter, but we still haven't received a response.
Yeah, we know the village chief got it, though. And we know he read it. The soldier who delivered it confirmed as much.
But he never wrote back. I wonder why.
Hard to say. Maybe he just doesn't want to get involved. Or maybe he doesn't remember us. Part of me almost wonders if my mom didn't make him promise not to tell me anything. Not that I have any proof she'd do that. It's too bad, you know? We should probably assume we're never getting a response and just leave it at that. And we don't have any other leads either, so there's not much point holding out hope. I mean, yeah, I want to know more about my mom, but it's not the end of the world if I can't. You had to give up learning about your parents too, right?
I did, but...
No matter what kind of past my mom had, she'll always be my mom. And I'll always be me. I know that she put every bit of herself into raising me, and that's what matters. There's nothing more important than that in my book.
You're right. Whatever your parents did before they had you, and wherever they are now, they'll always be your parents.
Glad you understand. And hey, not knowing the truth lets me make up all sorts of stories about her in my head.
Oh, you mean like imagining she was actually a high-ranking noble, forced into obscurity?
Not a bad idea, but not totally original either. I was thinking more along the lines of a legendary knight, known throughout every inch of Fodlan. Or maybe a mysterious adventurer who came from somewhere far beyond its borders.
That would be incredible if it were true, and it would certainly explain why she was so knowledgeable. Still, I'm sorry I couldn't help you in the end.
It's all good, Ashe. Without you, I never would have spent all this time thinking about my mom and who she really was. So even though we came up empty-handed, I'd say the journey itself was entirely worth it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I should probably get going. Just remembered I've got a huge to-do list and not nearly enough time to do it. See ya!
Huh? I could have sworn I saw the commander here a moment ago.
Oh, you just missed them. I can take a message if you want, though.
In that case, please deliver this letter.